having issues with your.
Well,
What's going on, YSM?
Yo, what's good with you?
what's up,
YSM, my
YSM? What's
guy.
going on, bro?
Salute. Salute, brother.
Salute to y'all, man. What's going on? What's the topic?
Yeah.
Uh, BVO. I don't even
Uh,
know where he went
well,
to.
BBO was asking, have the beta male taken over the sport of boxing?
Yo, BB, yo. You funny as shit. Bro, I wouldn't say that. You all right, so is this in reference to how fighters move today?
Yeah,
All right. When we this is just my perspective, right? When
Yeah.
we talk about the guys of yesteryear, the legends that just looked for the smoke and they cared more about legacy and than money and didn't really care about the business. They just wanted to fight, right? So we had guys like that, and those is the guys that we admired and whatnot. And what I want people to take a look at is what do you think when it was all said and done, they told the next generation when they're in the gyms with them and the next generation is asking them advice? What do you think the one thing that they preach to them? Focus on your business. Make sure your business is hit.
Get as much money as you can get.
Because now they're beaten and broken down. Well, what do they got to show for it? They gave us all these legacy fights and they fought the best when we wanted them to in the whole nine. And all they get is, us wanting to take a picture with them. But dudes like Bob Arum, dudes like Lou DiBella, they made all the money. And now these guys got brain damage. When you see them, they're like shells of their former self. So when they see the next generation and when they talk to them, the first thing they gonna tell them is, yo, make sure your money's right. Don't sign no bullshit contracts. Make sure you look and have a lawyer read through everything. So I'm not mad at the younger generation from listening and learning from the older ones' mistakes. There has to be some balance. And I think dudes like Ryan Garcia are the problem because like Ryan Garcia is a superstar, is looked at as a superstar, and he's never even competed for a world title. I mean, a real world title. There's something wrong with that. But there's nothing wrong with a fighter making sure that his business is right and making sure that taking a tough fight makes sense. Just my perspective.
I mean, I get where you're coming from. I feel it, and I really do get where you're coming from because you know, when as you know, as you're growing up and stuff, and you watching stuff around the gym and stuff like that, and you watching these dudes around the gym, like you come up and you be like, oh well, you be like, who you fighting next or whatever the case may be, and you know what I'm saying, and they don't know what's the meaning of what they got to do to just getting in the ring itself, because sometimes money ain't right, sometimes things just fall apart, um and which is fine, you know what I'm saying, but a lot of times I feel like when it comes to like the Ryan Garcias and stuff like that, the reason why people consider them a superstar is because of the internet success beforehand. Same
Mm.
thing with like even Devin, like him having some type of internet success beforehand, even before hitting the top 10 in a weight class. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, well, we've seen this kid on the internet. Well, why might as well have not? You know what I'm saying? Literally the same way that I discovered Tank was literally on Instagram. Like that's how I discovered Tank. I didn't discover Tank on a show. I didn't discover Tank on, nationals, or I didn't discover Tank. Like I didn't see him until I, made an Instagram one day and I seen him knock some dude out. And I was like, yo, who is this? You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a different type of generation. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. Like be like, oh well, why is this guy a superstar? Because he has a massive social media. Like you can't. The same reason why like Jake Paul does all those numbers is because a lot of those kids that are watching YouTube or whatever the case may be, Is the reason why, because they're watching that stuff. They're watching him.
Wait,
There's
Jake's a
this,
little different because Jake was a star before boxing.
yeah, yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Like you gotta kind of like I don't know how you discovered Tank, but for me, I discovered Tank on Instagram, literally on Instagram, and a lot of people discovered him that way. Was on Instagram. It wasn't him fighting on the undercard on those old PBC cards on Fox Sports. It wasn't that. It was him on the internet knocking dudes out. That's how a lot of those kids, what I'm saying, a lot of these people are following Tank. That's how a lot of them found him. It's because okay, well, boom, and then the Pedraza fight happened, and that just exploded him more into a superstar.
Well, I don't think Tank was a superstar. I think Tank became a superstar within the last 5 years. I hear what you're
Exactly. Yeah.
saying, but here's where I tweak it slightly. Oscar De La Hoya was a superstar, right? Oscar De La
Right.
Hoya was a star before he turned pro. He's a star for beating people up. He was beating people up in the amateurs. He won a gold medal. He became a star. Like Devin Haney and Tank, people might have discovered them or saw them on the internet, whether it's a sparring session or whether there's a knockout, but they're champions. Ryan Garcia, to my recollection, is the only guy that's ever been considered a star and that's never fought for a world title, a real world title, not a Reggie belt, a real world title.
And he
Hey,
was scumbag,
YSM,
man.
real quick, YSM. Jab Queen has a question for you from when you came in with your dialogue. She said, "Do you think that's why it creates so much duck talk because the OGs told them to make sure they go for the bag and get their business right?"